Hello and welcome to Up to Speed, our way of keeping our customers up to date with the latest news in the video production equipment industry. So, last night Sony announced their much awaited full-frame CineAlta camera, and it's called Venice. It's their new flagship camera replacing the f/65, and it's a real beast. So let's go through what we know. It's a completely new 36 by 24mm sensor, which gives you full frame 6K footage. Now they make a big deal of it being aspect ratio agnostic, by which they basically mean that the sensor has enough resolution that you can do a 4K super 35mm crop down into the middle of the sensor to be the same aspect ratio as most current cameras or Sony's f/55 for example. Plus you can use the full sensor as well for full frame 6K. Although it's looking like this might be a future paid upgrade, we're not quite sure yet. They make a point of the colour science of the new sensor. It seems Sony are really trying to overcome their reputation for not producing quite as filmic a look as Arri, Canon or Panasonic do. So we're looking forward to seeing what the industry think of this new sensor. Certainly the footage that's been shown so far looks fantastic. We also get 8 steps of built-in ND, which is actually surprisingly rare for high-end cinema cameras like this. Built-in ND is normally used in the middle tier of cameras, the owner-operator style ones aimed at convenient use. It shows the quality that Sony have now managed to achieve with built-in ND filters, that they're willing to put them into their absolute high-end cameras, which are designed of course for no compromise image quality. It is of course a PL mount camera, but it can be swapped out to a lever lock style E-mount like we've seen on the FS7 Mark II. And I think this is quite an interesting move. It could be seen as a nod towards the red kind of market where sometimes people choose to use them with a Canon EF mount lens for the smaller size and the range of choices. It uses the same workflow as the f/55, so productions will already be familiar with it. XAVC internally or ProRes with a later update, and then you can get full 16-bit RAW or a slightly compressed XOCN RAW file with Sony's R7 recorder. Now interestingly, Sony say that the sensor block is interchangeable, similar to the Canon C700. So it's possible that in the future you'll be able to future-proof your investment by swapping out as sensor technology develops. So with both Canon and Sony now letting you change the sensor inside of cameras, it's looking like this will be the future for high-end production cameras. One future-proof body which you can then upgrade the sensor in as time goes on. Now how realistic this is though, I'm interested in seeing, as it's not clear whether or not the processors and the chipsets in the camera would also be upgraded. And it's often those components that limit features like the frame rates a camera is capable of achieving, for example. And speaking of frame rates, from what I can see from the specifications, it maxes out at 60p. So for slow motion, this isn't really your camera. And I am a bit surprised by that, as normally Sony push high frame rates pretty hard. But I guess at this high level of production, if you're doing a slow motion segment, you often get in specialist cameras for it rather than relying on your A camera. I think the Venice looks like a fantastic flagship camera for Sony. It increases resolution, but not by simply cramming more pixels down onto the same sized sensor. We get a larger sensor for better pixels, which can only be a good thing. This could really start making an impact at the high end of the market. But what do you think? Any information that you'd like to know about the Venice? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.